Okay, garden update. It is June 7th, I believe. I'm going to start back at this end only because I think that's such a pretty picture. So those lilies came up right in front of my chapel, and I'm guessing someone planted them there to honor the people who are in the crypt that's down there, but we didn't know if they were a weed, and they're beautiful. So sweet potatoes, they are going great. They're starting to almost head up the vine, so I'm very happy about that. The potatoes, this one needs to get hilled some more. I need more dirt in that to hill it, but those two are at the max volume and are getting huge. Corn, I don't know, I think I did this 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, and the corn is now as tall as my 5-foot wall and has definitely filled in. So there are 50 corn plants there. Radishes, this is my second or third batch. We harvest them pretty much daily. These are broccoli, and you will see there is broccoli in each one of these, and they're doing great. This is the Romanesque broccoli, and I don't have any Romanesque crowns yet, but if the greens are any indication, they're a very happy plant. Celery is almost as tall as the corn, actually, and I learned something. We've eaten one of the stalks of celery, and I learned that celery actually has a taste, because this tastes like something, and in the United States it tastes like water. Carrots, I pulled the front carrots. Those are the ones I did from plugs, and now I know why they say don't do them from plugs, and it's because they get deformed. They're a root vegetable. They want to be planted from seed. So these are all the ones that are left that are from seed. The ones that were from plugs I've pulled. Still have the red onions going. I pulled all the garlic. So the garlic is curing on a rack. I pulled 2 giant leeks. We had those for dinner last night. And I've pulled the Dorado onions, so golden onions. And what I did is I laid new barrier here, and then in that cleaned up bed is oh gosh, it's called ceci in Italian, chickpeas. Sorry, so chickpeas are going into that bed. More red onions. They are definitely not ready, but that's okay, because I'm hoping that they get ready right around the time the golden onions have finished curing. And calabrese and cayenne, they're probably tripled in size in the past week or two. The asparagus, I have asparagus in every single hole that we planted asparagus. In some I have 3. We are letting it go to fern this year. Next year we'll start harvesting, but I have started combining the beds. So the goal will be all these beds will be combined. It'll just be one major bed, and the asparagus will grow all the way along it. The back are green beans, and you'll see they are going up the trellis just like they're supposed to. These are cauliflower, and they look weird because they have been wrapped, because in each one of them, you can't see it in that one, in each one of these there's one, is a cauliflower, and I'm trying to keep the sun, so that one needs to be wrapped a little bit tighter. But as they grow, here's another one, I haven't wrapped him yet. So as they grow, I wrap them like this so that the sun doesn't damage them. There are some cauliflowers, there's another guy. There are some cauliflowers that are self-blanching. These are not, so if they spend too much time in the sun, they'll get brown and gross. And I want pretty white broccoli. These are the red and white beans, and they have been infested with aphids. So I've had an aphid problem for the last week that daily I've been trying to combat. So hopefully I get a hold of that soon. Last remaining beet from my second batch. And this is the third batch of beets going in. I just roasted about 2 dozen of them yesterday, and they're amazing. Artichokes. We've eaten, gosh, I don't know. There's artichokes. We've eaten probably a half a dozen artichokes. These guys got hit really hard with the aphids. You can see the aphids under there. So every day I've been putting something on them. We don't use chemicals. This is a totally organic garden, so I've had to get pretty creative. You can see the aphids on this one. We haven't eaten any of the green ones yet. We've only eaten purple ones. They're amazing. Those are the peas. I thought they were on their last leg, but they're still going. This is the watermelon. You will see Mr. Watermelon is trying to take over my yard. So we're going to put the pallet on soon. I would say probably in the next 2 or 3 days. But I have a watermelon in each one of my 5 corners. These are the coolest tomatoes. They're a type of cherry tomatoes unique to Italy. And they grow like this. So you'll see it's a V with big cherries. Those are probably, gosh, I don't know. Maybe this, I mean, they're a pretty good sized tomato. I have 5 of them in here. And they are going gangbusters. This is the zucchini flower. So it doesn't actually produce a fruit. The fruit is actually that flower, and you batter it and fry it, and it's delicious. So he's being grown for his fruit. I have learned I don't like these tomatoes, Como della Ande. They just are kind of bushing. They're very hard to control. Maybe they would have been good if I had put them on a trellis instead of putting them up here. And they look like this. So they're going to be pretty big sized tomatoes, but I don't like the bush, and it's very hard to control. This is cucumbers, and we've eaten probably 7 or 8 cucumbers off of there, and you can see how much they've grown because they're almost to that bottom light. These are my grappolo tomatoes. And they grow on a string, but they're large beefsteak. So you'll see them here. These are the Fiorentino tomatoes. I'm going to have more tomatoes than I know what to do with soon. And you can tell how much they've grown because they're up to the second light facing that way. These are the heart-shaped ones. So let's see. They're getting their shape, and these are almost to the third light, so you can see how much those have grown. Romaine lettuce, we have been eating that constantly. I think I'm almost lettuced out, and that's the bed that had the carrots that I did from plugs that we will not be doing again. And Marley has come to visit. Hi, Marley. This is the scallions that I pulled out of my kitchen. The celery didn't make it. And then more lettuce, more lettuce. Again, we eat lettuce a lot right now. Hi, buddy. These are 2 different kinds of tomatoes. These, they're called an egg tomato. They look like an egg. Uh-oh, something's getting this one. Uh-oh. What is getting you? I'll investigate that later. And they're on their way to being to the third light as well, which makes me very happy to think of this tunnel. These are my zucchini, and I think, are zucchinied out. We have been eating more zucchini than I've ever wanted to eat in my life. So we are going to start freezing and dehydrating zucchini. Bell peppers. I have bell peppers. Let's see. I have bell peppers. They're not very big yet, but they're growing. These are the red ones. Those are the yellow ones. More tomatoes. Again, they're doing really great. And oh, these guys look like that. So they're big beefsteak ones that look like that. So tomorrow, the goal is to get this fence. Josh has built me this rock wall. Josh built. You can see he has rocks all over my house. And we are trying to keep the chingale out of my backyard. So that's a little temporary fence I put up. The thing is, these are, I don't know, 500 to 1,000 pound beasts. So we had that rock delivered, and Josh is going to build 2 rock towers and then attach a fence to it that I can open and close. So very excited about that. And then have a last observation. So one, I didn't know cactus made flowers. Like, look at that. And these guys had pretty red ones on it. And these guys had red shoots. But this snapdragon is from last year. And if you don't water the snapdragon, and so we overwintered it in the garage. So he came back to life, which I was very happy about. But if you don't water this snapdragon every single day, the damn thing dies. But we found in our rock wall a snapdragon volunteer that I've never watered. I've never done anything. I've never fertilized him. And yet he grows, he's strong. And the other one that I baby and fertilize and water dies. So if anyone can explain to me why that happens, I would love to hear it. So that's the update on the garden. And next time we will have a cemented rock wall. And if anyone wants zucchini, just let me know, because I literally pull, let's see, do I have any right now? I pulled them all this morning. There's a zucchini. Oh, and what I'm doing with these is, you'll see, so zucchini grow just on one main stem, but people let them flop in their yard and then they kind of take over. So what I'm doing is I'm training it to go up the trellis. So he's almost to the second light. He's so large. And I think that's it. There's my weeding pile, my little workbench. And Marley, say goodbye. Marley, say bye. Bye.